What's up guys, and welcome to the very first mini review of the season, and we're going to start things off with Jakeem Grant, 65 overall, balanced offense style, 5'6", 92 speed, 79 catch, 60 release, 83 jump, 69 catch in traffic, 70 spectacular, 80 elusiveness, and 78 route running. Now what surprised me about this card was that he only has an 83 juke and a 75 spin. That is so disrespectful. If anybody watched his college highlights, man, that is just so wrong, man. So kind of surprised that EA did him like that. But anyways, for most of this review he will be on the far left, so you guys know where to find him. And the first thing that I wanted to test out right here was his route running. How easy he could get separation. And I noticed that if the corner was in zone, he got much better separation. Like these plays right here, the corners are in zone, he's getting nice separation. But if the corner was in man-to-man, he was definitely very sluggish. So I don't really recommend route running unless you see zone. Putting him in the slot and sending him across the middle was very fun, especially if you see that it's man-to-man like this right here. Just he sticks his foot in the ground and just takes off. Now if it's a zone coverage, I definitely recommend doing that right there, just falling to the ground, even though this is man-to-man, but still, you want to be safe. Now it should be no surprise that even Jakeem Grant can come down with an aggressive catch once in a while. Of course, I'm not saying that you should ever lean on this in a clutch situation, but it just goes to show no matter which Madden it is, Madden will always be Madden when it comes to the aggressive catch. As far as what he did best in terms of being just a pure receiver, of course it should be no surprise that the fade or the streak, whatever you want to call it, this is where he flourished the most, no surprise. So if you put him out wide, just send him deep and watch him just burn corners. But of course, as time goes on, faster corners will be introduced into the game, and when that happens, his value will definitely go down in terms of being a deep threat. So my advice is, if you put him at wide receiver, enjoy it while it lasts. As far as the bad plays, of course he had plenty of bad plays, and of course I don't ever recommend trying to lean on his catching in traffic or throwing across the middle in heavy traffic or anything like that. And he's definitely liable to drop wide open passes, especially down the field as well, so keep your eye on that. But of course, where he performed the best overall was returning kicks and punts. And even though he may not always run it back for 6, at the very least he'll do stuff like this, man. Get the ball to like the 40, the 50, and beyond. And of course, if you're good enough, you might get a few of these plays right here, break off a few tackles and then take off. Very unlikely that anybody's going to catch him in the open field. Now my advice is that if you pick him up but you don't feel comfortable putting him at a wide receiver because of his catching stats, I completely understand. I say just pick him up, put him at kick and punt returner, and just leave it at that and watch stuff like this happen. That's how I use him. He's not a starting receiver, but he's absolutely my starting kick returner and punt returner. Naturally, his receiving stats and whatnot were not that great, but his kick return ability and his speed overall made him very dangerous and continues to make him dangerous. So if you have not tried him yet, I highly recommend trying out Jakeem Grant. So that's going to wrap up this review, guys. My final thoughts: do I think he's worth 2,000 coins? Like I said before, right now he's just a temporary player. As time goes on, not only will faster corners come out, but faster receivers will come out, and then he'll just become worthless at that point. So right now I say he's very valuable. If you have him on your team already, you know what he can do. If you have not, I suggest at the very least try him out, see what he can do for you. In terms of running back kicks, I don't really recommend, like I said, don't use him as a receiver. You may be disappointed from time to time. But anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap this up. I got my very first Draft Champions gameplay coming out pretty soon. That one should be dropping tomorrow, and I will see you boys for that gameplay. Peace.